Go! Whoa.
I'm warning you for the last time. If I see you looking sideways at her again, I'll have you whipped. You won't be getting up. My respects.
What would you like?
Show me your wares.
Thank you, sir. And come again.
Who are you? Can't you people leave me alone? My face is still swollen from the last time.
Hold on. Are you Pavel?
That depends. Who's asking?
Henry, you don't have to be afraid of me.
I'm Pavel. And you really weren't sent by Pivets?
Pivets? He's the one you were arguing with.
You overheard?
How could I not? Did he beat you up?
Oh dear. Soon the whole village will know about it. Pivets doesn't want me to court one of the local girls, Ursula, and he had one of his father's brutes beat me up.
And who's this Ursula?
The sweetest girl in the village. And she's really pretty.
So why doesn't Pivets want you to court Ursula?
Because her pa promised her hand in marriage to him. So he behaves like she's already his. But he doesn't deserve her.
You think?
He's a heartless bastard.
And you like Ursula?
Who wouldn't? Only... I don't know.
You don't know what?
It's all the same to you anyway. I'm very fond of her. You'll find no lass with such a big heart for miles around.
And does she feel the same way about you?
Aye. I think so.
Why would you do what Pivets tells you?
I've got no choice. He's right. I'm just a hired hand. While he's the son of the richest farmer in the village.
Are you so afraid of Pivets you would let him have Ursula?
What can I do against him? I'm just an outsider and a pauper. If he wanted, he could have me thrown out of the village.
Ah, what does that matter?
Tivoli, where did you come from? Her parents would never give us their blessing. And even if they would, they've already promised her to Pivets, just 'cause he's rich. The only way it could change is if people started to see Pivets differently.
How do you mean?
Like if he killed someone, or robbed people in the village. What do I know?
If it turned out he was a thief?
Probably. And the main thing is, Ursula would turn against him. She's as honest as a saint. But why would he steal? He has everything he needs.
He wouldn't. Not him.
Are you saying I do it and let him take the blame? But that's a sin.
You're right.
Would you do the same?
I wouldn't. But I'm not in love. You are.
I suppose that's true. Maybe it's not such a bad idea after all. Nothing will happen to Pivets if he's from a rich family. But he'll lose Ursula. And it'll give me time to earn enough for her dad to let me marry her. But I live here. If I get caught, they'll make me an outcast and I have nowhere else to go. Someone else will have to do the stealing.
I'll gladly do it.
You will?
Sure. Only I don't know what's worth stealing around here.
I can help you with that. For the whole village to turn against Pivets, every family would have to be robbed.
And who's living here?
Father Anthony, the parish priest, Ursula's family, The Vimola brothers, where I work, old Bahushka, and of course, Pivet's family.
What should I steal from the priest?
Father Anthony. Maybe this manuscript he's been writing for ages.
Where is your priest rectory?
The rectory is the cottage by the church.
What's the book?
I don't know. I can't read. But I heard it's something about potions and...
Alchemy?
That's it!
What should I steal from Ursula?
I suppose, her Ma's rosary. It looks valuable.
And where does Ursula live?
Ursula lives in the first cottage across the green from the church.
If I'm going to take Ursula's Ma's rosary, tell me, does she carry it with her?
She does, during the day.
What can I take from the Vamolas?
I can tell you exactly what. I work for them. Besides, I can even give you the key to their house, so you have it easier. Well, the younger brother is the local cobbler, and he's just made a fine pair of shoes for the Suckdoll blacksmith.
Thanks. What about the older brother?
I don't know. He had this really valuable St. Francis medal.
Had?
Aye, he lost it a while ago. It'd have to be found first.
So someone else stole it?
It's possible, but he might have just lost it. Although young Moller claims a magpie stole it.
A magpie? Well, I've found all sorts of things in magpies' nests, that's true.
None of us believe him, but it's not in the house for sure. We searched it from top to bottom.
All right, I'll have a look around for nests. Where's the Vamola's cottage?
That one is their cottage.
And can you tell me where I'll find the shoes?
In the parlour, just behind the door.
And you wouldn't know where the magpie nests are, would you?
I don't know. Try the biggest trees. Young Moller even showed me what a magpie sounds like, but I can't make the sound.
What can I steal from old Bahushka?
Her silver ring. But watch out, she's a bit of a crackpot.
How will I recognise her cottage?
It's the one furthest from the green. She's got a stove in her yard and a long orchard out back.
A crackpot?
Aye, she bakes pies all day, then forgets she did it and bakes more.
And when I've got all the loot, where at Pivet's am I to hide it?
You haven't got anything yet. Be glad if you don't get caught. Here's the key, and when you've got everything, come back to me.
Sure. Just you wait and see.
And most importantly, I don't want anyone to get hurt.
Don't worry. I'm not some cutthroat.
It was good to see you, my friend.
So it really was that magpie that took it. Ugh. Nowadays, you can't even trust God's creatures. Sit and stay.
Do you want some poppy seed pie? Poppy seed pie. Good pie. Well, the ring. Eyes. The ring. Oh, no. The dough. Oh, the poppy seeds. Poppy seed pie. Good pie. pie. Where?
Here it is. The shiny little bugger. That daft old crone really did make it into a pie. I've got everything.
You do? God's nails, you really did it.
Why wouldn't I?
I wasn't so convinced you'd succeed.
What to do now? Do you want me to plant it on him?
No. That is... leave it to me. Just give me the loot and I'll plant it on him myself.
Don't you think I should do it? If you're caught, you'll look like the thief. They'll drive you out of the village and you'll lose Ursula forever.
Not to worry. My master sometimes sends me to Pivetz's, so no one will pay any attention to me.
Are you sure? Won't Pivetz be keeping an eye on you on account of Ursula?
He doesn't even notice I exist. Never mind watching me. I'm just dirt to him.
Oh, he went to the bother of threatening you, though. I don't think this is a good idea.
It'll be all right, trust me. I know him like the back of my hand.
Supposing I helped you. I could distract his attention while you're planting the stuff.
Nonsense. He'd never fall for it.
Why are you so dead set against it?
What do you mean? You're just imagining things. Give me the loot, and I'll take care of the rest.
And can I be sure you'll really do it?
Give it to me, for fuck's sake!
You've no intention of planting it on him, have you?
What's it to you?
So I'm right. But why?
Because Ursula will never be mine anyway. So why even bother fucking with Pivettes?
Then why did you get me to steal those things?
So I'd have enough to go to Kuttenberg and train as a journeyman.
But if you leave now, everyone will connect you with the thefts. You'll never be able to come back here again.
I know. But if I stay here, I'll never be anything more than a poor labourer. This way, I have a chance to make something of my life.
Even at the price of losing Ursula?
You said yourself she'd never be mine.
Maybe. But this way, you'll never see her again. And she'll think of you for the rest of her life as a shameless thief. Is that what you want?
It'd be better never to see her again than to watch her day after day, knowing I can't even touch her. So you know the truth. What now?
And if I gave you coin instead of those stolen things?
What? Why would you do that? You don't owe me anything. And besides, do you know how much I'd need?
Here you are.
You mean it? Really? Jesus. Thank you. Thank you 1,000 times. I don't know how I'll ever pay you back.
Don't mention it.
I'll never forget you for this. On my word of honor, I'll have to repay you somehow. I don't have anything to give you, but I could teach you something. It's hard work being a hired hand. It teaches you to save your strength as much as possible.
That always comes in handy. But what am I to do with these stolen items?
Try Father Anthony. He'll see to it they get back to their rightful owners.
Grant you help.
I come to you as a sinner.
You have nothing to repent.
I'll do it so...
As you wish.
Father, isn't this your manuscript?
Let's see. It is! My God! I've been looking all over for it. If you only knew how much time I've invested in it. Scientia est potentia. Thank you very much, my son.
You're welcome, Father. Father,
Yes, my son?
I found some things stashed away. I think they were hidden by some thief, and I'd like to return them. But I don't know who they belong to.
I'll be glad to take them and see that they get back into the right hands.
Here they are.
The Lord will repay your good deed, lad.
What's going on? Do you need help?
Thanks for stopping here. My husband Mikush hasn't returned from Bilani. Me and Vendula are awfully worried about him.
Wait, I need to know a bit more. What's your name?
Svatava,
I'm Henry. And Vendula would be...
our only daughter.
And your lost husband is... Mikush?
Aye. Since we've been living in this hut, he's been going to work to Bilani.
When did you last see him?
He left a few days ago. He's never been away this long.
What job did he do in Billany?
He's a damned good tailor. But besides that, he does odd jobs around the village. He always brings whatever he earns here. Mostly food. The little we manage to grow here isn't enough.
Why don't you look for him yourself? Billany isn't that far.
I can't. I've injured my ankle. I can't walk that far.
What happened?
I twisted it when we were running away from the soldiers through the forest. It's better now, but it still hurts. It would take me half a day to limp to Billany.
So why don't you send your daughter?
By herself? Are you mad? She's young, inexperienced. Something might happen to her.
Did your Mikush have any enemies you know of?
Enemies? No. He's a nice man. He never hurt a soul. Maybe he's a bit too nice. He trusts everyone. I'm worried someone might have tricked him into something.
What do you mean?
He thinks people are good deep down. I don't think that. People can be right bastards. That's why I'm so worried about him.
Why are you here? In the forest?
We had a big house in Messales. But then Sigismund's mercenaries decided to burn the village to the ground. Mikush, Vendula and me all escaped at the last moment. The others weren't so lucky. It was hell on earth. You can't imagine the terror.
Well, I'm from Skalitz. I reckon I can.
You can. I don't know. In any case, we ended up here. At least we had some roof over our heads. But now, I don't even know what'll happen next.
Why did the soldiers attack your village?
Why? Good Lord, such a question. They didn't ask us anything. The worst thing is, the village paid some mercenaries for protection. But they took off the moment they saw horses kicking up dust on the horizon. I'm glad old Svartosh, my father, didn't live to see it. His heart would have burst.
Do you want me to find him?
You do that for me?
Yes. Don't worry. I'll find him. Where do you think I should start? In Billany?
Aye. Ask about him in the tavern. He wears a fine embroidered hat. Everyone will remember him.
How are you getting along here?
Now, quite miserably. I hope you find my Mikush soon. We won't be able to go on without him.
I'll try and look for him.
Oh, bless you, kind soul. And good luck.
Go! Ka! Quick! Ka! Ka! Whoa, whoa! Go! Ka! Ka! Whoa!
so you can avoid danger.
It looks better already. They pour the beer on the table.
Do you know someone by the name of Mikush?
Who?
Mikush. A fellow with a nice hat. I heard I might find him round here.
I know who you mean, but I never really spoke with him. You'd be better asking the tavern keeper.
Greetings to you.
I'm looking for one fella. His name's Mikush.
Mikush. Doesn't ring a bell.
They say he wears a fancy hat.
Ah, the Hatter, of course. He's not from around here. He started showing up a few months ago. Just for a few days at a time. Sometimes he'd sleep here.
I hear he made his living as a tailor in the village.
I don't know anything about that. He never offered me his services. He seemed to me like an ordinary, decent guest. He drank a few beers, played dice.
He played dice? With who?
I don't get a moment's rest around here, my good man. I don't have time to check who the guests are talking to, but he must have played with Chernik. He's our champ. I'm sure he'll tell you more.
What's going on?
Nothing much. If you're looking... Farewell, sir.
There's something I'd like to know.
Not now. We can talk at the tavern.
Aye, coming right up.
At your service, sir.
I'm looking for someone. His name's Mikush.
Mikush? Never heard of him.
I've been told he wears a...
Fancy hat?
Exactly.
I've seen him around here. But I don't see why I should talk to a stranger about another stranger.
The innkeeper told me that you definitely played with Mikush.
Aye. I do like a good game of dice. But I'm not telling you anything else about him.
Why's that?
Because I don't know you. Like me ma always said, never talk to strangers. Come on, let's roll some dice instead.
I'm Henry.
Greetings, Henry.
Now that we know each other, talk.
Nice try. But you'll have to try harder than that, Henry.
Are you trying to get some coin out of me?
I won't turn down some chink. But I'd rather play you for it.
Listen, Mikush's family is looking for him. His wife and daughter. They're worried about him. They're refugees from Messales, living in a hut in the woods. They've lost everything, now even their provider. Can you live with that on your conscience?
Look, I wouldn't wish ill on anyone. And all right, I do know a bit about him.
Tell me then.
I've known Mikush since the first moment he showed up here to play. Unsurprisingly. The bloke looked like he couldn't count to 5. I thought I'd found an easy mark. But man, was I wrong. He's a great player. And that kind of praise means something coming from me. He knows when to bet everything on the final roll.
So he won a lot?
Aye, for a while. Until his luck ran out. Then he started borrowing. One time he got so desperate, and maybe had a few too many beers, he started going on about his buried fortune in Messales, saying he'd surely pay back anyone who lent him money. Ha!
Did anyone lend him anything?
Aye, and Mikush won everything back.
And did he pay back the money he borrowed?
Of course, every last groschen. He was laughing the whole time, too.
What about that buried fortune of his? Did he ever mention it again?
The next day, he claimed he made it all up, saying he just had too much to drink. Only nobody believed him.
Did anyone seem particularly interested in his fortune? Someone who'd want it for himself, and would go after Mikush because of it?
Everyone was interested in it, but Mikush never talked about it again. Besides, that village is burned to the ground and full of rabble. Messales is an awful mess. That rhymes!
When did you last see Mikush?
A few days ago. He was playing against that hired hand, Drat. Drat lost and didn't have enough money. They left together, and Mikush hasn't shown up since. That's pretty suspicious now that I think about it. That Drant bloke's an odd duck.
What do you mean, odd?
I've heard he's been dealing with some bandits. You'd better have a word with him. But be careful.
Where can I find this drat?
Somewhere in the village. I reckon he'll be at the farm he works at. Well, technically, because he's a big fella and looks strong, they made him into something like the village catchpole. But to tell you the truth, he's less a catchpole and more just a regular farmhand pretending to be a catchpole.
I'll go have a talk with Drat then. Thanks.
Don't mention it. And if you ever fancy a game, you know where to find me. Farewell, my friend.
You're Drat.
Aye, that's me.
Can I ask you something?
Ask away. But do it fast, I don't have all day.
Do you know a fella by the name of Mikush?
I don't know any Mikesh.
Ah, knock it off. I hear you left the tavern together. And no one has seen Mikush since.
Oh yeah, that fella. We were heading in the same direction, but then went separate ways. That's all I know.
You certainly know something about Mikush's disappearance, and you should talk.
Should I? Why's that?
You best realise to whom you're speaking, boy. If it were of no importance, a noble such as myself would waste no time with it. So speak.
I apologise, sir. It's not my fault. It was Hanker.
Who's this Hanker woman?
Hanker's not a woman, but a man. We've known each other for years. He was a hired hand in Messalus. Certainly know what happened there. The horror. Not long ago, he came to see me. Said he was the only survivor from the entire village, but I know that wasn't true.
Because you met Mikush.
I thought he'd be quite happy that someone else got away, but he was actually quite upset about it.
What do you mean, upset?
Well, you could see it on him, all nervous like. Seemed to me like it was rubbing him up the wrong way. That Mikush, of all people, survived.
Interesting. Did he tell you anything else?
I didn't ask him any more questions.
So, someone comes to see you, acts all odd, and you don't ask any questions? I don't believe you. You must have had a normal conversation, seeing as you're old friends. And he had to have told you something.
Well, I understood he'd quarrelled with Mikush and his family about some money, a family inheritance. Nothing unique there. It happens in every family, so I didn't pry any deeper. Then he said he'd like to talk to Mikush and whether I could set up a meeting.
Thanks to you, he knew Mikush frequents the tavern. So why didn't he go and find him? To talk with him?
I don't know.
Damn it! Come clean. You must have asked him the very same question. So you know the real reason. Admit it.
Hanker told me he'd joined up with some bandits, so he didn't want to show his face in the taverns. It wasn't so long ago they robbed a merchant here. I reckon he was afraid someone might recognise him.
So he wanted to rob Mikush?
I really have no idea. Hanker didn't tell me. I just wanted to help out an old friend. I didn't know what he was up to. What the hell do I care about some strange fellow with a funny hat, damn it? Hanker told me to take Mikush outside the village and then he'd meet him there. But he said Mikush couldn't know about him, and he left figuring out how to do that up to me. So I played dice with Mikush. He's damn good, so I had no problem losing a few games. In no time at all, I owed him quite a few quotient. I told him I could pay my debt immediately, but he'd have to come with me to my hiding place. He didn't blink an eye. He's damn trusting, given how things are today. I took him a little way outside the village, told him I was going to take a piss, and then took off. And that's all. I don't know anything else.
Where did you take him? I want the exact location.
Yeah, here, just outside the village, on the way towards Missalus.
Are you trying to lie again, Drat? Hanker joined up with some bandits. You said yourself he wouldn't dare going anywhere near the village. Unless you want to piss me off, you'll tell me the truth. Now.
All right, fine. It was a bit further away from the village. Actually, it was quite far.
Where were you supposed to take Mikush?
A crossroads by the forest, on the way to Missalus. Actually, almost right by Missalus. A little beyond the woodsman's camp. Just go straight. 2 roads intersect there. It's the only proper crossroads on the way.
What happened at the crossroads? I want the truth.
Well, as I was saying, I took Mikush there and told him I needed to take a piss. Then Hanker jumped out of the woods with some bandits. They grabbed him. He began to scream, but there was no one around to hear him.
And what did you do?
I didn't wait to find out what would happen. I ran.
What did Hanker promise you for bringing Mikush to him?
Nothing. I did it out of friendship.
Are you trying to lie again?
All right. He said he'd give me part of the buried inheritance.
So Hanker wanted to get his hands on that inheritance the whole time?
I reckon so.
He felt the family owed it to him, but I don't understand why.
Family. Skeletons in the closet. You never know.
How long have you known Hanker? Since you're such good friends.
We go back a long way. As youngsters, we'd beat the shit out of each other in the Merciless Tavern. As it often goes, we ended up becoming friends over a beer, you know? But I haven't seen him since I've been working as a catchpole. Not until now, that is.
But if you were such good friends, you must know more than you're telling me.
Maybe. But it's not important.
Every detail is important.
So listen up. Hanker always had one big problem. No woman would have him. He's always said it's because he's not rich. But he's just a hired hand. As if a hired hand can't shag. The stories I could tell.
Get to the point.
Last year, his cousin danced with him at a feast. He was like a new man. He wouldn't stop talking about her. Vendula this, Vendula that. As if he was in love with her. And then, all of a sudden, nothing. He never mentioned her again.
Where might Hanker be now?
I only know what he told me. That he ran off into the forest. And that's where he joined up with those bandits. He bragged about how they made him their captain.
I'm not wasting any more time with you. God only knows what Hanker's done to Mikush, and you're responsible for it. Be ashamed. You sold out an innocent man for a handful of groschen. Sickening.
I'm truly sorry.
Being sorry won't help. You're a snake in the grass. You deserve punishment.
Please, don't tell anyone. No one can find out.
All right. I won't tell anyone. You have committed a grave sin, but if you show remorse, God will forgive you.
Thank you. I'll never do anything like that again. I swear. I'll pray and go to church and...
Enough already. Farewell, Drat. Quick! Die!
Great price.
Go! Quick! Die! Ka! Whoa! Come here! Blood. And quite a lot of it, too. It looks like they dragged that poor wretch further. I have to find out where. That must be Mikush's hat. It looks like it fell off when they dragged him into the woods. I have to find out which way they took him. Here, Matt. Search.
That weapon won't help you, bastard! Attack! Come and help us! I yield. Mercy.
God. By that tree. Is that Mikush? What have you done to that poor man?
I...
You hear me? What did you do?
Nothing. It was Anka.
What did he do to him? Talk.
He stabbed him, and then he shoved a red-hot knife in the wound.
Good God.
He wanted him to tell the truth. He's out of his mind.
What did he want from him?
Well, he wanted to find out where he buried that inheritance, but he kept saying he doesn't know.
Oh, Christ almighty.
The tailor swore he didn't know anything, but his wife did. She's the one who buried it.
What happened next?
He wouldn't stop burning him until Mikush told him where his wife was hiding. Anka took off with the men to their hut. He left us here to guard him and told us if he dies, he'll sort us out. Only the tailor's getting worse. He's all burned, delirious. He's dying. We don't know what to do with him.
Why? Why did he torture him so cruelly?
I don't know. He just kept saying, that was our money. That was our money too. He called Mikush uncle a few times. I don't know why. I don't reckon he's actually his uncle. He wouldn't do that to him, right? He wouldn't torture his own uncle like that, would he? Unless... Jesus.
This keeps getting better and better. What's the story with this Hanker fella?
It used to be an hired hand in Messalis. That's the village that the soldiers of that other king burned to the ground.
Yeah, so I've heard. And he just decided to join up with you?
Of course not. He had to beat our captain, Loiza.
And did he?
He killed him with his bare hands.
That's enough. Get out of this forest now, and don't look back, or do I have to kick your arse out of here myself?
No, please. You'll never see me again, sir.
Christ. He's on his last legs. According to that bandit, Hanka stabbed him, then burned him with a red-hot knife. I'll have to take a look at his wounds. Doesn't look good. I need to be careful not to make things worse. There are some burns and stab wounds. Burns look bad, but I don't think they're the main problem. The stab wounds, though, look infected. They're dripping with pus. Maybe cleaning them out and changing the bandages will help. Maybe a potion would help him. Something healing. That works fast. The better quality it is, the quicker he'll get better. Maybe some herbs would help him. Medicinal ones. They help with healing. If I place them on his wounds and dress them, he could get some relief. I've seen enough. I think I know how to help him. I'll get him through this. I hope I can act fast enough. What are we gonna do? I should clean that wound first. This'll sting a bit.
Ah! That hurts!
The wound is clean. That should stop the pus from forming. I ought to put herbs on that wound. I have just the thing for this. Right. The wound is clean. You should be feeling better soon. I should bandage it for you. I'll just wrap it tight. There we are. I'll give you a healing potion. I'm sure it'll help. This one should do the trick. Drink up. I'll pray for you. At least your soul will get some relief. How does it go again? All praise and glory is yours, Lord our God, for you have called us to serve you in love. Bless Mikush, so that he may bear this illness in union with your son's obedient suffering. Restore him to health, and lead him to glory. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen. That's all. I'm sure he'll pull through. Mikush?
Who are you?
Henry. But that's not important now. I know why Hanka tortured you. Did you tell him anything?
My God, I told Hanka that the only person who knows where our inheritance is buried is Svatava. And then he burned me. So much pain. I told him where he could find her. My God, he took his men and headed out for her. To the hut. You have to save them. Hurry. I'll follow you. Don't wait for me. Their lives are in danger.
Ka! Ka! Go! Quick! 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 Whoa!
It's not my fault. That's the decision your mother made.
Let her go immediately.
Take another step, and I'll slit her throat.
Mikush is alive. Nobody has to get hurt.
What do I care? Stay back, I say.
Let her go. We can talk this over. It's not your fault what you've done. You've gone through horrible things.
What could you know about that?
Believe me, I know. You're horribly angry and you can't control yourself. But no one else should suffer because of that. Talk to me. Peacefully.
Peacefully. All right. We'll do it your way.
Praise be to God.
Look, I know it doesn't look good, but I was in the right. The money they hid, it belongs to me. It's my inheritance.
I don't understand. You'll have to explain it to me.
My grandfather, old Svatosh, was rich. He worked the fields all around Mercedes. He built a beautiful house. He had many children, but only 2 daughters made it into adulthood. Svatova and my mother, Ludmila. When he was dying, he fucked my mother over and gave the house and all his money to Svatova and that tailor of hers.
To disinherit his daughter like that. It's strange to say the least. Did he have a reason to do that?
Reason? Svatosh hated my father. He was just your average poor commoner, but that wasn't good enough for his high and mighty self. Svatova and Mikush got married off in Kutenberg at the Church of St. Peter and Pavel. But did they invite my parents? I was still little, but I remember he treated us like dirt. And not just him. We barely had any proper food to eat. Pa had to go work in the mines at Horsham for a few groschen. He ended up trapped under rubble there. He died a cripple. After that, no one even moved a finger to help us. Not Svatova, not Mikush, no one.
You're damn lucky I came in time to help, Mikush. Things might have ended up much worse.
I only wanted justice. Nothing more.
Drat told me you were attracted to Vendula.
That's not true.
Don't lie. I hear she danced with you. And you were over the moon.
I wasn't. I just... Not so many girls dance with me.
Because you're just a hired hand?
Well, she's my cousin. So I wasn't head over heels for her or anything. No way. I mean, who want me anyway?
I get it. You're alone and desperate. It's sad not to have someone by your side.
You're right.
But believe me, there is someone out there for everyone. It's God's will.
You think so?
Certainly. Try and pray more. And visit the baths. That's important.
I wish I heard that earlier.
But it's never too late to change, believe me. Look at me. I'm just an ordinary village boy.
You might be right.
If you felt aggrieved, you should have found another way. Violence solves nothing.
That's the first time I've heard that. You don't exactly look like the type of man that would avoid, say, torturing an enemy. Or am I wrong?
I need to have a good reason to get violent.
Are you saying I didn't have a good reason?
In any case, you should apologise. You put them through hell.
I won't apologise to anyone. They had a guilty conscience because of what they did to me. If they'd shared just a bit of their wealth, nothing would have happened to them. But they didn't. They fucked up my life. I'm poor and alone.
Tell me one thing. How did you survive what happened in Messalis?
Dumb fucking luck, I reckon. That band of despicable cutthroats. Once they made their way into the courtyard, all hell broke loose. Tried to defend ourselves, but everyone but me fell. So I fled to save my brother and mother, but it was too late. Everything was burning. I took off running and didn't stop until I was deep in the forest.
No matter what you've done, I must admit, I feel sorry for you. I know well what you went through. Your family? What happened to them?
No one survived. No one was expecting it. Once the soldiers entered the village, there was no escape. Their captain got his eye on my brother, who worked with me in the courtyard. Franz was barely 15. He didn't stand a chance. I ran out to the fields for Ma, but they got there first. All I could hear was her screaming. And then it stopped. I lost everyone. But Svatova and Mikush didn't.
I'm sorry, but your misfortune gives you no right to harm others. How did you join up with the bandits?
My first night out, I slept under a tree. I was starving, so I went out hunting for mushrooms, but then I saw a fire. It was that gang. Captain Loiser was their leader, a big fella. They said they'd let me join if I beat him in a fight. So, I beat him. And they made me their leader.
And what about Loiser?
They buried him in a glade.
I reckon that was no great loss.
I don't know. We didn't really get to know each other.
Enough talk.
Be reasonable. No one died in the end.
I said enough talk. I know how to end this whole unfortunate situation. Take what I said about rectification to heart and leave here in peace.
Very well. I was getting sick of the bandit life anyway. You'll never see me around these parts again. I swear. Farewell.
Hey, Hanka!
Where's he going?
I have no idea.
That fella told him to leave.
I don't get it.
Hey, Hanka! Hanka! Talk to us! Hanka, wait!
Nearly took my...
Easy.
You both all right?
My sweet Vendula. Did he hurt you?
I'm all right, Ma.
Thank God. Thanks for the rescue, Henry. And thank you for Mikush, too. The poor things must have suffered. Hanka, that bastard. I hope he'll pay for all his crimes.
It's not important. What's important is he won't be bothering you anymore.
Well, if you say so. And I thought seeing my own home burned to the ground was the worst thing.
We've gone through a lot, Ma. So much suffering. We have to leave this place
Get as far away as possible as soon as possible.
Wait. Did you hear something?
I don't hear anything.
There! Again! Someone's outside. Jesus. It's those bandits. There must have been more of them.
Ma, take it easy. I don't hear anything.
Henry, go and have a look.
It's not the bandits. Look who's come home.
Mikush!
Pa!
You made it here quickly.
I came as fast as I could. I nearly gave up the ghost. I was so worried about the two of you.
I'm so glad you survived. That horrible hunker tried to kill us.
I know. All because of the inheritance. He went absolutely mad.
If it weren't for Henry, he'd have killed Vendula. And then me.
That lunatic. Who would have guessed that about him? He used to be a good lad.
After all that, Henry let that good lad go.
Well, let's hope he never shows up here again. I'm awfully knackered. I need to lie down for a bit. Will you help me?
Of course, Pa. Come and rest inside.
I reckon you're hungry too. Vendula, give him some gruel. It should still be warm.
All right. Come on, Pa. Carefully.
And the two of us should have a word. Hail Mary. And Mary said,
What did you want to talk about?
I wanted to thank you for everything. You saved our entire family.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
As you might have figured out, everything that happened was all because of our inheritance, which I hid from the soldiers in Messalis. I understand you've done everything you can for us, but I wanted to ask if you could go and get it for us. You're a strong, capable man, and you don't scare easy, and it'll be worth your efforts. Trust me.
All right, I'll look for it. But you'll have to tell me where I'll find it.
Listen, I'll tell you everything. My memory's not as good as it once was. Our house is the third one on the right when you follow the main road towards Visoka. Anyone entering the village goes by our house. Must have been about 2 days before the tragedy. The neighbor boy ran over and started yelling about how something was coming, that he'd heard it from the patrol on the road. No one believed him, not even his pa. After all, why would soldiers attack a monastery village, one far from their camp? It didn't make any sense. That night, though, I had a strange dream. I tried to put out a fire, but the more water I poured on it, the bigger the flames got. So I decided to hide all our valuables. Only I couldn't do it during the day. I was worried someone would see me. I put all of it in a chest, loaded it onto a handcart, and waited till nightfall.
Did you believe your dream?
Dreams are gifts from God. They can tell the future. Don't you know that? But anyway, when night fell, I snuck out the back of our house with a handcart, making my way through the hole in the fence next to the compost heap. Mikush was supposed to fix that hole a long time ago, but as good as he is with a needle and thread, well, when it comes to other work, you can forget about it. At least it made things easier for me. First, I headed right. Then I turned left, up the path, around the neighbor's barn. It's outside his fence. I had to stop there, because the neighbor's little brat was still awake and wandering around. Fortunately, he didn't see me. So I kept going past a low wall where two paths cross. There, I went left. Once I was safely out of the village, a dog started barking at me, so I had to pick up the pace. Instead of turning right down the path, I went straight into the field there. That handcart was damned heavy, and it was rough going off the path. I crossed the field, making it to the wood, but the wheel got stuck there. I couldn't go any further, and it was pitch black. I lit a lantern and dug a pit to fit that chest. Took me forever. When I was done, I could barely walk straight. The sun was coming up. I left the handcart and shovel there and went back the way I came. I hope those directions are good enough for you to find it.
Why did you do all that work yourself? Why didn't your husband help?
The fewer people know about it, the better. I didn't want to leave anything to chance.
That's all I need. I'll go and find your inheritance. What's the story with your inheritance?
My father, Old Man Svatos, was quite wealthy, at least compared to the rest of the village. You see, he worked all fields and farms around here. He had 9 children, but only me and my younger sister Ludmilla made it into adulthood. And then, when he died, he left everything to me. He wanted to be sure, because with Ludmilla, he was worried she'd blow through all of it.
Why did your father disinherit Ludmilla?
She was quite flighty. She liked to have a good time, if you know what I mean. She was never without a man. Then she brought this hired hand home. Fanos was his name. She had to marry him, as she was in the family way. Svatos threw her out of the house without a second thought, heartlessly. And he never mentioned her again.
Why didn't you help Ludmilla then? Hanka said you didn't care about them. That you left them to starve to death.
That's not true. I offered to help her. I found her a job, but it was in vain. She was mad. Sometimes something came over her, like she was possessed. It was frightening, and it got worse and worse. It seems Hanka has inherited it from her. Those aren't the kind of people you let live in your house.
Why didn't you help Hanka at least? He lost his father after he got hurt in the mines. He must have been desperate.
Fanos? A miner? Where did you hear that? He never stepped foot out of the village. He drank so much, he lost his job, and then fell off a cliff at Simperk. He's a common swindler. And he's delusional, just like his lunatic mother. I hope our paths never cross again.
How did Svatos become so wealthy?
He was a good farmer. When he was young, he worked on a big farm somewhere near Colleen and worked his way up from the bottom to become the custodian. But it's no coincidence he ended up in Mesoles. He was close with the old custodian of the Sedlets monastery. They were friends. Sometimes you've just got to meet good fortune halfway.
What did he do with such a large inheritance?
What do you think? I took care of it the way Pa wanted, so our Groshen didn't just roll away from us. So our Vendula would have a good life, a good dowry, and a good husband. At least someone as good as my Mikush.
I'd like to know more about...
Those are sad memories.
You know, I've been through something similar. Sigismund's army burned down my hometown. Skalitz.
My lord! Thank God you managed to save yourself.
Unfortunately, very few of us were so lucky. My ma and pa stayed behind.
I'm so sorry to hear that. What would you like to know, Henry?
I know reliving it isn't easy, but I'd be interested to know how the attack unfolded.
Like I said, we were prepared for it, unlike the others. The soldiers came from the main road. First the horsemen. They cut down anyone who stood in their way. Then came the first flaming arrows, and the roost began to burn. The horsemen then stormed the farm, and that's all I saw. May God save the souls of those innocent people.
You said you were prepared, so someone warned you?
I already told you, Henry. A few days earlier, the neighbor boy was shouting about how he had heard something was going to happen. And then, I had the strength.
Did you know where you'd flee to?
Aye, I did. I remember this old hut by Billiny. A long time ago, the Lord's huntsman and his family lived there. When the forest fell under the ownership of the monastery, he had to move out. It was empty for years, and now it's our home.
What was Messeles like before all this? Was it a big village?
I wouldn't call it big. Maybe back in my father's day, but not in recent years. As more and more silver started coming out of the mines, people moved to work in Kutenberg. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nobody left to work in the fields soon. But what can you do? That's a question for the custodian. And there's no reason to ask now anyway.
Was there anything peculiar about Messeles?
What do you mean?
Well, something worth looking for, I mean. Something the soldiers might have wanted.
They didn't attack us for our buried inheritance, that's for sure. They came for food and plunder. Though, on second thought, I heard something about a mysterious cave that's supposedly beneath Messeles. But I reckon that's just an old wives' tale.
What are you gonna do now?
I hope that inheritance brings us back the happiness we've lost. I hope our suffering ends soon, and we'll see better days again.
I'm going for the inheritance. I hope it's still there.
I'm sure it is. No one would ever think to look where it's hidden. Me, Vendula, and Mikush will wait here for you.
What hurts?
The wound. And my leg.
How is he?
Not well. He needs to rest.
What about you?
Not so good either. I'm still trembling. In any case, thanks for the rescue. Who knows what Hanker is capable of? That is, if he doesn't come back.
Svatova sent me for your inheritance.
She finally came to her senses. I told her I'd go there myself. We could have had money and left this hut behind long ago. But she doesn't trust me and is always so worried about me, as if I was a little girl. If she wasn't so afraid, none of this would have ever happened.
What's the story with your inheritance?
I didn't know anything about what Hanker was so angry about. Nothing about any disinheritance or quarrels. Or do you mean how Ma buried it? Aye, I saw her taking everything of value from the house and loading it onto a handcart. Honestly, I just thought it was another of her whims. But I couldn't have been more wrong.
Was Hanker entitled to the inheritance?
Who knows? He was always just a strange cousin to me. We greet each other, but that's all. I never could have expected what someone like him is capable of. When he goes mad.
What about that one time you danced with Hanker?
What about it?
I hear he sort of fell for you after that.
That's not true. And if it was, what do I care?
I think that by dancing with him, you were making fun of him. Isn't that right?
Making fun of him? Why would I do that?
Because you wanted to put on a show for your friends from the village. Because you knew Hanker's not right in the head, so you did it on purpose. And you nearly paid for it with your life and the lives of your family.
Aye. The girls kept egging me on to do it. To ask the ugliest bloke there to dance.
So it was just a stupid dare.
If only I'd known I was only adding fuel to the fire. My God.
I'm going to get your inheritance.
Good luck. Maybe then Ma will finally wisen up and we'll leave this place.
This is where Svatova took the handcart onto the meadow. The inheritance can't be far. Quick! Go! Quick! Gah! Quick! Gah! Keep it up. I was in Merciless and followed your instructions.
And? Did you find it?
The chest was buried by the forest, exactly where you said. Next to the handcart.
My God! Thank you for everything. Vendula! Mikush! Henry has returned, and he found our inheritance.
Finally! Some good news.
Don't keep us waiting, Henry. Let's see what you have for us.
Here's everything I found.
Fabric, Groshan, and our ancestor? Nothing's missing.
This fabric's as good as new. Think of all the money this will make.
Finally, fortune smiled upon us.
It surely has. I told you that once our ancestor comes back to us, everything will be like it once was. Thank you, Henry. Here's something for your efforts. If you ever feel like learning something new, Mikush here would be glad to teach you.
So he teach me to play dice, eh?
You can't learn dice. You have to have it in your blood.
That's not what I meant. He's a tailor by trade, so he can show you how to mend your clothes.
I reckon I could. Stop by, Henry. I'll find time for you. God be with you, neighbour.
Before I forget, I found your hat. Here it is.
My hat? I thought I'd never see it again. I made it myself. It's the latest Italian style. You won't find another one like it. Thank you very much, Henry.
I see you're on your feet. You feeling better?
Thank God Vendula took care of me. So I'm feeling much better. Thanks for asking. I reckon it'll be a while before I dance again. But no matter. At least I can still hold a needle and thread. I'll be with you, sir.
Down. Surely there's a reasonable explanation for this.
You could stick your
What's going on here?
As you can see, something slaughtered all these cows.
Not just something. It was that creature from hell. I saw with my own eyes how it fled back to its hole in the mine.
Give it a rest, would you?
I won't. What'll happen when that monster comes for us next?
Seems we've been fortunate running into you then, eh?
I'm Henry of Scallis.
I'm Marion, the local priest. You look like someone who knows how to fight and isn't scared off all that easily. Just the kind of man for the job.
Tell me what happened from the beginning. What killed those cattle?
I was in my cottage when I heard such strange noises. It made my skin crawl. So I went out and saw this. And that beast what did it running away. How am I supposed to make a living now? These cows were my most treasured possessions.
What sort of strange noises did you hear? Can you describe them in some way?
It was like someone dragging chains along the ground. Neither men nor wolves make them kinds of noises. And demons carry chains so they can catch sinners with them. Everyone knows that.
And what about you? Did you hear it too?
Unfortunately, no. I was in the church when Vladimir sent for me, saying they'd found those carcasses.
Didn't you say you saw someone running away from here?
Not someone, but something. A monster from hell itself.
Just an old wives' tale.
I swear by all that's holy, the beast ran from here straight back to the old mine.
What did the beast look like?
I only saw it from afar. But before it got lost in the thicket, I saw its giant pointed snout.
Couldn't it have just been an animal? Maybe a wolf or a boar?
Can't you see my poor girls here? What kind of wolf would leave wounds like these? Oh, and the monster ran on 3 legs.
3 legs?
Aye, as sure as my name's Vladimir.
You mentioned a pit of hell. Is that located somewhere around here?
That's just a local fable.
It's no fable. In the days when silver was mined here, terrible misfortune took place in the mine. A pit to hell itself opened up there.
The mine shuttering fell apart and the gallery collapsed. That's all.
Shuttering my arse! It was a pit to hell! Shuttering don't just blow up on its own. But hell didn't scare good old Father Richard, so he set off into the tunnels and struck a deal with them demons. Ever since then, we brought food to the mine for them every second Sunday, and they leave us in peace in return.
Father Richard was a crackpot. You're lucky to finally have a normal priest here now.
A priest who forbade us from bringing the offerings, and now you can both see where that's got us.
Has anyone actually looked around in the mine?
Only old Father Richard. Nobody else has ever had the courage. The very mine shaft stinks like hell itself. So we only ever lower a bucket down with the offering, and then clear off quick.
After the cave-in, the miners left to work in Grund. It seems they'd no longer felt the vein was worth the trouble here.
When did all this happen?
It's got to be at least 5 years now.
And you've been taking food there ever since?
That's right. And nothing's ever happened until now, all because our new priest here forbade us from bringing offerings.
Where's Father Richard now?
He returned to his maker not long ago, and now I preach here in his place. The moment I caught word of that foolish superstition, I put a stop to any offerings.
And you can see what that caused.
It's only happenstance. This isn't the first, nor the last time that wolves dare to venture into town.
Vladimir's right. It doesn't look like it was the work of wolves. I don't know what could have done it, but wolves don't make those kind of wounds.
You hear that, Father? And that's coming from someone who's been out and seen the world.
Tell me something about yourselves, so I know who I have the honor of speaking to.
Like I said, I'm Marion, and I come to Old Kutna to preach.
Aren't you, a bit young for a preacher?
I finished my trivium at Prague University last year, and I wanted to continue. But my father decided I'd had enough education and found me a place in the order in Sedlec. So now I implement my theological learning in this lovely county as a preacher.
I'm Vladimir, the mine foreman. I'm the eldest of everyone here, and the people actually respect me, unlike our this here preacher from Prague. And them cows were mine.
This whole thing is very odd. How do you want me to help?
The massacre of those cattle is a horrible thing. But the heresy that's been tolerated here on account of the former priest is even worse.
Old Father Richard would chase you out of town, you stuffed frock.
Marion may be young, but he's still a priest, and he deserves a bit of respect.
Thank you, Henry. Since you're the only one here uninvolved, I'd like you to go into the old mine and discover the truth of this old wives' tale.
And while you're there, take some peace offering with you. Otherwise, I wouldn't even dare going.
What am I to do with you? All right. Henry, take their offering with you as well. You'll do just as those wretches did before you, and then wait to see if any demons show their faces or not.
Wait for demons? You want to send the poor fella to his death?
Don't listen to him, Henry. Faith in God will protect you, but before you go through the mine, we'll have a look around the village. Then we'll all meet at the entrance to the mine.
All right, I'll help you. But what about the offering?
A bit of food will do. Here you go. We always lowered the food down in a bucket. The main thing is not to go down the shaft yourself, lest you anger hell.
Don't be frightened. It's just an old shaft.
You'll find it to the west of here. The whole area is deserted and most of the entrances are blocked off. You go past the mine buildings until you reach the one that's collapsed to the ground. The mine entrance is next to it. Good luck, lad. You're going to need it.
God be with you. Careful. Till we meet again.
Go! Go! Quick! Ka! Whoa! What? Now you piss me off, you fucker! Alert! To arms! That food must have been spoiled. I feel sick to my stomach. He knew.
A sword, eh?
Bad luck.
You swine! We're under attack! Mercy! Leave me be! I surrender. Give me everything you have. All right. That's all I have. Now let me go. Ah, fuck this!
Prepare to fight. You won't get.
I'll show you! We're under attack!
Quick! Quick! Whoa! It really does smell like... Oh, Jesus. What a diabolical stink. Ugh. Right then, let's see if we can't lure the devil out.
What the... Where am I? And where did all my things go? Jesus. What the fuck is going on here? What's this? Did the knight write this?
Who goes there? I am the shield of gods, demon. I am Taras. Vade Satana, Inventor et Magister omnes fallatiae, hostes humanae salutis.
Ah, everything's here. All right. More entries. Also written by the knight?